manifestos. And now the topic of discussion for tonight is political parties' messages ahead of August 2021 polls. We want to find out how are they preparing. If at all the message that they are preaching is able to sink in the minds of the people or the voters before 2021. Because when you ask any political party or politician, they'll babble with confidence and tell you that we are the party of choice and our message is clear, our manifesto is clear, and we believe that people come August the 14th, 2021, they will be able to vote for that particular political party. My name is Kelvin Tabula, Chief Focal. Many thanks to those of you that are joining us on Muvi TV Decoder, Channel 1. Those of you that are watching us on Facebook, yours is Ask Muvi. You'll be able to post your question or to pose your question, and I'll be able to ask your question on behalf to the gentlemen that are battling it out on Blunt Talk. Tonight I have Jimmy Chela, who is a UPND, or is representing the United Party for National Development. Jimmy, good evening and welcome to Blunt Talk.
Good evening, thank you so much, and good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much. I also have Edward Mbao, representing the New Hope movement for multi-party democracy. Edward, good evening and welcome to Blunt Talk.
Good evening, Kelvin, and good evening, viewers.
Last but not the least, I have Kondwelani Sakala, representing the United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia, UPPZ. Mr. Kondwelani, good evening and welcome to Blunt Talk.
Thank you. Good evening, Kelvin. Good evening to all the lovely viewers of Muvi TV.
Gentlemen, the rules of the game are very simple. When I pose a question to you, you'll be given 3 minutes in which to submit or to make your contribution. If there is something that your colleague has said, and you want to rebut to that, or you want to clarify or shed more light, when I ask you a question, you'll be able, whether you start by responding to what your colleague will say, or in the end, if you feel like responding, you can do that. Also, gentlemen, Jimmy Chela, how do I address you tonight? Should I call you Jimmy Chela? Should I call you Jimmy or Chela?
I think Chela will be okay.
Thank you so much. Edward Mbao, same to you. How should I address you? Should I call you Mr. Mbao, Edward Mbao, or Eddie?
My blood name,
which is
Mbao.
Mbao. Thank you so much, Mr. Kondwelani Sakala. Should I say Case or Kondwelani or Sakala?
Any of the two, because they represent me.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's start our discussion or debate tonight. Let me start with you, Mbao. You are representing a party that was in power, or that has tested the sweetness of power, and now you are in the opposition. First of all, with the current political parties that we have and the messages that people are being taught, do you think the political parties that we have, including the party that is in government, have the right message for the people of Zambia? Your 3 minutes starts now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, and thank you so much, Kelvin, for that question. Every political party has its own way of formation, and it has got its own way of arrangement. It has its own way of structure and the way it actually goes about their manifesto and everything. Speaking on behalf of other political parties, I think that I wouldn't do much, because I have a lot to talk about our own party, because we have a lot that we need to offer to the Zambian people, and looking at what other political parties are saying, because mostly it's just about saying and not necessarily putting it into action. If we talk about the current leadership, so much is at stake. But yet they can raise their wings and boast to say, we are doing this, we are doing it, we are doing this and that. Quite a lot of things they are trying to point at. But if we should, the question we should ask ourselves is, are they meeting the needs of that indigenous Zambian who is in the remotest places of Zambia? Those that can definitely tell, and attest to the statements they are making that they are doing it. That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Otherwise, to me, as a representative of New Hope MMD tonight, I would say their sayings and whatever they are presenting is not matching what they are doing on the ground. Thank you.
And you still had a minute plus some second. Thank you so much. Let me come to you, Jimmy. You are representing the UPND. The same question comes to you. Do you think the political parties that we have at the moment, including UPND as well as the party in power, do you think they have the right or the kind of message that Zambians should hear and make a decision come August 2021? Your 3 minutes starts now.
First and foremost, I can tell you that the United Party for National Development, UPND, has a very clear message to the Zambian people, especially during this period prior to the elections. Our message is very clear and well summarized. I'll come to that. Talking about other political parties, I'll talk of the PF, the party which is in power. One, as you know very well that PF has been absconding from national debates, starting from the head to the lowest ranked member of the PF. Of late, they've been absconding from that. That is a clear indication that these people have no message for the Zambian people. And there is no message which the PF can sell today. Coming to the United Party for National Development, UPND, under the able leadership of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, we have a very clear and well summarized message. First, there is our 4 areas of priority. The first one, which is prudent economic management. Under prudent economic management, we are looking at stable exchange rates. We are looking at lower taxes. We are looking at broadening the task base. We want to have a lot of Zambians who are able to have access to means of income so that they can contribute to the taxes of this country. We are not going to overtax a few individuals. Hence, under the leadership of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, a lot of Zambians will be employed so that we broaden people who are going to be contributing to the national treasury. The other thing is agriculture and food security. We want to make sure that under the leadership of UPND, HH at the helm of governance, we are going to make sure that agriculture and food security is prioritized. Government is going to invest in meaningful investment in the agriculture sector. Not when you invest something like what is happening currently under the PF government. It is a joke. And it's like we are just, it's a joke to say the least. You can't have people who are growing their own agricultural produce and you restrict them on where to sell. Under the UPND government, people will be able to sell their agricultural produce wherever they feel like, wherever they see it is making sense. The other thing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chela. Your 3 minutes is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let me come to you, Mr. Sakala. You are representing UPPZ. The same question goes to you. Do you think political parties, including UPPZ and the party in power, do you think you have that kind of message to convince Zambians such that they can make a decision come August elections?
As UPPZ, we have every message packaged together. This message is both for the rural Zambian who is in the remotest area, including those that in the urban. We have seen, apparently, the country is divided. And this division is something that everyone is aware about. And UPPZ, we are saying, united, prosperous, and peaceful Zambia. We have seen the country divided. The people in the rural areas, they have not been taken care of. And we are saying as UPPZ, once ushered into power, those people will become part of Zambia. They will not be chanting as one Zambia, one side this time around. Once UPPZ form government, Because from inception, since independence, I've been just thinking and looking. Of course, I have a village. I've gone there. Yes, it's part of Zambia. But do they enjoy the benefit of the national cake? The answer is no. And that is the reason why, as UPPZ, we are saying we want to unite this country which has been divided by these political leaders who they have no interest to make sure that the ruler Zambian, whom they take to these ballot papers, it doesn't matter how far they reach there, that development to reach there. Talking about other political parties who have never ruled or who are not in power, apparently, I may not speak for them. But the current situation is pathetic. Because Zambians, even right now in the urban, they are crying. And we are saying this country is not poor. Our country is rich. But unfortunately, the people in a rich country, they live as if they are not in a rich country. A very few selective individuals, or the rich become richer, and the poor become poorer. That's the situation in which we are in. And as UPPZ, we are saying, we want to unite the country in development. We want to bring that prosperity that God has given us, the natural resources, and many other things that have made other countries rich because of Zambia. So we are saying we want those things be benefited from our own country. So the issues surrounding the nation, UPPZ has all it takes to make sure that we bring Zambia to where it's supposed to be.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sakala, and your 3 minutes up. Let me come to you, Mbao. From the submissions that have been made so far, each and every political party talks about having a clear message. Let me come to you, Mbao. With the issues of agriculture, we have seen the PF government has subsidized, maize seed as well as fertilizer. And like this year, or the 2020-2021 farming season, we saw our farmers getting the farming input in time. And this is something that is recommendable. We have seen farmers saying kudos to the government. What sort of policies or message do you have for that farmer or that person who has plans of venturing into farming as MMD? What is it that you are promising the people?
Firstly and foremost, thank you so much. You see, agriculture is a very huge sector of economic development. And when you talk about subsidies, we really need to bring it so much down. Okay, I'll give a very simple example. If I have a 2-hectare piece of land, and then I'm given farming inputs which can only cater for half a hectare at that particular time as a subsidy, and I'm told to say, as soon as you vote for us into power, then we'll add up with the remainder. What kind of development is being encouraged there? I would definitely say that's not development at all. It's just an incentive. Maybe somebody, because wants to achieve or acquire something or some support, then we'll use a certain ground that is not conducive. By enticing everyone. Here is a poor Zambian, a poor farmer who doesn't even have capital, he doesn't have seed, he doesn't have farming inputs. You go to this farm and say, no, we have got farming input, which can never cater for the land that is required. You give him even just a quarter of what is supposed to be done on the land. And then you say, when you vote for me or you vote for us into power, we'll add up. Does that really fall in line with development? Not at all. As new UPMD, you know that our developmental plans were not regionalized. At the time when we were in leadership, we had support from all around because everyone was actually given a platform that was so conducive to perform. And the people could really do all programs productively. We are talking about a productive nation. A farmer today can never even produce an orange fruit. Today in town, I had a discussion with my brother from Vubu, who told me to say he was at UTH. Is it UTH or Levi Mwanawasa Hospital? He saw somebody buying an orange fruit at 10 kwacha. We are in Zambia here. 10 kwacha a fruit. The question is, where are we getting that fruit? It's coming from South Africa or other places.
As New Hope?
No, we are talking about what is happening
Yes,
today.
as New Hope.
As Europe,
Are you happy? If you're not happy, what is it?
We
that
are
you're bringing
never
on the-
happy. We want this time going by the. We have got. You know, by the way, we are going to our convention very soon.
Yes.
And we have a theme, and our theme is unfinished and new business. That's our theme. We have some unfinished business because looking at where we ended as New Hope MMD, we left a lot of things unfinished. And when people came into power, you know, other leadership that came into power came and distorted our plans. And as New Hope MMD, we need to make sure that we bring new business to the people. How can a Zambian who used to produce an orange, today orange fruit,
Thank
we are
you so
failing
much,
as a country
Mr.
to produce.
Mbao, and your 3 minutes is up. Mr. Chela, same question. Agriculture sector, I know that you started touching about it, but let's just zero it in with agriculture sector. As UPND, what is it, what message do you have for a farmer or somebody who is thinking of venturing into farming? Your 3 minutes starts now.
First and foremost, as the UPND, we are privileged to have a president who is a very good manager and someone who understands and appreciates and prioritize agriculture. Apart from managing the country so well, the next thing we prioritize is agriculture and food security. We want Zambian farmers to be trained on how to grow various crops throughout the year, not only seasonal crops. We want Zambians to be trained or to be educated through cooperatives on how they can benefit, on how they can send their children to universities through agriculture. We want the country, the nation, the government to grow its own maize for export, complemented by what individual farmers will be growing, selling at a very competitive price to the government or elsewhere, wherever they want to sell, to enrich themselves. We want to prioritize, under agriculture, we are going to prioritize irrigation. Small farmers are going to be empowered in such a way that they are going to be growing crops throughout the year, various crops. What is happening today under the Patriotic Front, as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, it's a joke and it's a shame. Our farmers have been turned into parasites, such that they cannot do without the government. If seriously what PF has been given the Zambian people for the past 4 or 5 years or 7 years they've been in office is support, you know, meaningful support is not given forever. There should be a period where this farmer should be weaned off. They should be independent, and the new farmers should be recruited. PF has really politicized the agriculture sector, which is very dangerous. And just clearly to see that PF has failed, look at the price of meal today. It is skyrocketing. Look at the price of, just as my brother alluded to, fruits. It's skyrocketing. Today, we have farmers who have been growing maize who are giving up. They're saying it's better I keep the money and start buying. It has become expensive to grow maize than just to buy it. So it clearly tells us that farmers are not benefiting in any way. This is why President Hakainde Hichilema is emphasizing that agriculture is going to be turned into a real business. You are going to see a lot of people leaving their blue-collar, white-collar jobs going into agriculture, which is not the case today. If someone is going into agriculture, they are just going there to buy the agricultural produce, not growing these products from the ground. It is because the price of fertilizer is not affordable.
Thank you so much, and your 3 minutes is up. Mr. Sakala, the agriculture sector, UPPZ, what kind of message do you have for farmers and would-be farmers?
It's among the divisions that we're talking about, like I told you, it's a united we are looking for. And farmers have been divided still. If you check, they have politicized the same farming inputs in some other regions. Tell me, what's the difference between this region and the other region in the nation which is called One Zambia, One Nation? Others, they have been given less inputs than the others. And that with UPPZ, we say, no, Zambia is one. Outside politics, we are still Zambians. We forget about every political, we put aside the political government when we are in power. And that UPPZ will do. We'll make sure we unite the Zambians regardless of their political affiliations. And these farming inputs, we'll make sure we deliver them on time, not because it's an election year. We'll make sure year in and year out, a farmer is given a platform to work freely without infringement, without forcing them the price at which they should sell their merchandise or their maize. Today, a farmer puts more effort, much into it, but they get a little year in, year out. And as UPPZ, we are saying no to that. We will make sure that farmers, they participate, they become part and parcel in giving the price at which their farming inputs are being sold at. But today we see that they are given, yes, inputs, little, depending on the regions. They come with the so-called FRA and give a price to those maize. Yesteryears, it was at 110 kwacha plus. Today, this year again, 110 kwacha. If the increment is there, you find it's a 10 kwacha, which doesn't benefit somebody who has put in much effort to make sure that they feed the nation. And to all these, they look small, but it has done havoc to the farmers almost everywhere in this country. We will make sure that the farmers, small-scale farmers, they are empowered to export their merchandise. Because those monies, they will add value to the economy of Zambia. And all we are saying, the economy will be liberalized.
Thank you so much. And your 3 minutes up. Thank you so much. Okay. Mbao, you are in government. We move on to the health sector. The Patriotic Front has built clinics, taking health services closer to the people. Over 600 health posts will be concluded this year. We have Kalindawalo General Hospital, a marvel to watch. We have Levi Mwanawasa. You are in government. Don't you think the PF have done what it takes, and you don't have a message when it comes to the health sector?
We have the able leadership of our doctor, Dr. Nevas Sekwila Mumba, who definitely understands the balance in the economic sector. When we look at health embraces a lot of things. They say a healthy nation is actually a wealthy nation. Recently, there was news that some drugs, expired drugs, were found. A lot of expired drugs. That shows poor management of things. How can you go on building structures which only after some time end up turning into white elephants? So many structures have been put up. Go in those structures and see if there is enough manpower. There is no manpower there. There are no drugs there. Okay? And even if you can boast about taking a service closer to the people, there is a time I was watching something. This lady was complaining and saying, moving from home to that clinic, it's hell on this road. We can't move on this road. So many things are happening. Okay? There is poor road network in some of the areas which really need help. Health itself does not only require a building. Just like a house. You can't build a house as empty as it is and you call your family, let's come here and stay. How are you going to survive? You need to put up measures on how those buildings will definitely be retained year in, year out. These buildings, yes, we appreciate, especially in the rural area, in the urban area. Some of the buildings, they've been upgraded, okay, and we appreciate the services being offered there. But now the question we should ask ourselves is that as a patient moves to those structures, are they getting a service they are going there for? Simple headache today, you need to buy Panadol. It is a fact, even if someone wants to protest to that, but that's the truth. Getting amoxicillin, they will tell you, go and buy amoxicillin. What is that new structure for? Why not improve the old structures by making sure that you store up drugs so that this poor Zambian is able to access the drugs? You talk about an operation, simple surgical operation. You need to pay huge sums of money to undertake such an operation. Today, extracting a tooth, if you don't have a 50 kwacha, you can't be extracted. We are boasting about those buildings. Is a person who is working in that building accessing a service as a Zambian.
Thank you so much for your question, and it's a question that you've posed exactly as your 3 minutes has come to an end. Jimmy, the health sector, the PF have built infrastructures, and they are saying the opposition has got no message because they can't say anything because we've done it. What sort of message do you have for the Zambian when it comes to the issue of the health sector?
You know, comrade, when you are stealing and working on something, you'll be so proud of yourself that at least you are not stealing everything, you are doing something. That is what the PF is doing today. But, you know, theft has got very short legs, and time and again, even just by nature itself, they are being exposed to reality. Today, PF has been boasting, or was boasting through Dr. Chirufya. Where is Dr. Chirufya today? And why is Dr. Chirufya not where he was just in the few months ago? You see, the health sector, which the PF claim to have built, is a contaminated health sector. They have created substandard infrastructure with expired drugs. And is that a kind of a health sector we can be proud of as Zambians? No. You know, had it not been for one gentleman, young man for that matter, the past Pharmaceutical Society president, Jerome Kanyika, actually the president should find time, inquire about this young man and award this person. He was very vigilant about the happenings at medical stores, the happenings at Zamra and other institutions under the Ministry of Health, which we have been praising. For a long time, Dr. Chirufya has depended himself as an angel or as a liberator in the health sector. Now the reality is that that man was a poisonous, was very toxic under the PF government. For a long time, where on earth do you give a Kantemba, a 17 million contract under health, when we have a lot of well-organized, well-established health institutions which can supply drugs to government? Since we were born, we knew of Mission Pharma. We knew of Mission Pharma supplying quality drugs to government. Where on earth do you see a Kantemba in Kamwala, just a one-story building, supplying drugs worth 17 million? That is corruption. And this is why President Hakainde Hichilema has been emphasizing on one thing in all sectors: prudent management. we need managers. You can build structures without managers. That is just a waste of taxpayers' monies. You know, as a country, we need to be very serious with ourselves. We have put up institutions which are there to regulate and look at the quality of service, the quality of products, medical products, which are going to be administered to our patients.
Thank you so much.
The people claim to love so much.
I'm afraid your 3 minutes is up. Mr. Kondwelani Sakala, the health sector, UPPZ.
UPPZ has a very big, good plan for Zambia. And Zambia is not only the urban. In as much as praises have been sung about the buildings without medicine in it, that's a shame. And if you go into the rural areas, you will find that the same health facilities, the hospitals or clinics, they are not there. Because these governments that have come and gone, including my brother here, MMD, they never cared for those people in the rural areas. They do not have those facilities. They walk long distances, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, just to be attended to at a clinic. How can you be proud as a president or as a government to say, we have built many health facilities? Yes, in the urban you have built for them. Do you count those people in the rural areas as Zambians? The answer to me would be no. Those people have no president who cares for them the way he cares for the urban people. We have seen, yes, in the urban, there are these praises, songs. No, they have turned from, this clinic into whatever you say. You have other Zambians under your charge. Those people walk kilometers. Under UPPZ, we are saying we want a Zambia which is united, health-wise. Those people must be taken care of. One day I was in Kasenengwa, Mangango, in those areas. People were traveling, whether walking or whatever it may be, but kilometers from a health facility. And yet people today, they can boast and be saying, no, we have built health facilities. My friend, sit down. Because you have people in the rural areas, a lot of them for that matter, and yet they have not been taken care of. And we are saying as UPPZ, we want this unison development to pass across the country. And that's the message that a Zambian, the voters out there, they should understand and get from UPPZ. Who not just look at you in the urban, who make sure those grandfathers, the villages you're coming from, are taken care of. They have clinics. Not having clinics, not allowing drugs to expire, being powered. Nobody is in charge of those. Carelessness. As UPPZ, we are saying, we will not be careless with the resources of the country. We will make sure distribution as a unity government, a united government, we pass across those things to the people that we know needs them.
Thank you so much. And your 3 minutes is up. Let's go to the education sector. Mbao, the PF was added to the number of universities. Now we can talk about Robert Makasa University, you can talk about Chalimbana University. They have upgraded primary schools to secondary level. You can name them. In the education sector, what sort of message do you still want to have and to tell the people after what the PF have done in the education sector?
Thank you so much, Kelvin, for that question. MMD was a very busy party at the time of its leadership. We found a lot of things destroyed in this nation. And as a nation, at that particular time, we made sure that we started reconstructing and building up this the fallen nation by then. And, when you look at a party that has found a distorted, kind of environment or economy, we had a lot to put in place. I am standing here very proud, being a member of New Hope MMD. The monies that people can boast about today using to say we have built this, we have done that, where is it coming from? You and me know that there is huge sums being borrowed today. You can't boast overdoing things.
Borrowing for development.
Borrowing is borrowing.
But there is development.
No. There's no development. Which development? We are talking about development. You know, when you are talking about development, you can't be bringing huge sums of money whose plan you don't have in paying back. 30 billion plus debts today. When we are in power, we found about 7.5 billion debt. By the time we are moving out of power, we had already paid 7 billion US dollars.
So even if you come in, you found the country in a mess like you found it, and it will be very difficult for you to deliver.
No.
So you don't have any message.
We delivered. Because then we are looking at debt cancellation, debt clearance, in fact.
So when you come
Not
in, you
debt
start
cancellation.
clearing the debt.
What we did was we balanced the economy. Today, these guys, whatever they are doing, yes, they are borrowing hugely, and they want to use the name development. Which development? Because we are talking about plowing back from the nation and developing the same nation, not getting money from individuals, because even their borrowing is no longer bilateral. UNIP is even better than them, because UNIP are the system of borrowing than it is today. Eurobond is an individual-owned commercial, those are commercial those are commercial loans owned by people. What kind of development is that? And this nation stands today with their headstone, okay, shamelessly. They are saying we are developing the nation. Nothing is being developed. If a nation, if another government takes over, as we are taking over in 2021, after August this year, as New Hope takes over office, the same system we used in 1991 up to 2011, that is the same system we want to continue with, because everything that we left was in order. What came in was distraction. And this is what we have seen as a nation. So, as New Hope MMD, with the able leadership of Dr. Nevas Mumba, as energetic, as wise as he is, embracing every person's ideas, is ready to change this nation.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes up. Jimmy, the education sector, they have built universities, they have upgraded schools, students are being given loans. What message do you have for students, teachers, as well as the general populace when it comes to the issue of education?
About the loans, I just recently graduated from Evelyn One College, and I was a leader there, where we had 12,000 students, and less than 1% had access to government loan. It is for this reason why President HH has been emphasizing that education is the greatest equalizer. I stand here because I strive through a hard process to find myself where I am today in education. Now, if this education can be made accessible to each and every Zambian who wants it, then this country is headed for...
Is it not accessible at the moment?
Right now, it's not accessible. First and foremost, there's a lot of charges from grade 1 to grade 12. And President HH and the UPND are saying that we are going to abolish any payment from grade 1 to grade 12. Then we are going to make bursary, the bursary system is going to be tailored in such a way, each and every Zambian, we don't have to ask you, we don't have to tempt you to lie that your parents are dead. We don't have to tempt you to lie that you come from Vubwi while you come from Kablonga. Whichever area you come from, whether it's Shangombo or you come from Munali, you are going to be treated the same, because it will be these loans will be accessible to everyone who has made the grades to go to college or university. Today we have private schools where you cannot even think of going into the bursaries committee and apply for students' loan. It's a non-starter. Only those few at the University of Zambia and very few at the Copper Belt University can access such loans. Under the UPND, if you have good grades, you are going to have access to tertiary education. Because we know that when we empower our people, They are going to pay back to the nation. They are going to contribute. And this kind of education we are going to give, it's not the kind of education which is useless. It's an education which sets you ready for life's challenges. An education which is an empowerment. So when we have a lot of people who can contribute positively to the growth of the nation, then a lot of people can return taxes to the nation. Then a lot of hospitals, a lot of roads will be built, not from loans, not from borrowed monies which are being misappropriated now, but the same Zambians are going to grow their countries. The bridges we are going to be seeing around are those which Zambians will be proud of, because they would have contributed. Today, we have very few people in universities and a lot of youths in the communities because they can't access the education sector. Today, I can tell you each and every program at a university or college won't cost you less than 10,000 in a semester. But under the UPND, students who have access to loans, each and every student who have an access to a loan, and that loan, which will be given to a student, will be paid back in a small amount, because we have a broadened base. A lot of people will be contributing. So we are not going to be charging a lot of people. Right now, we have civil servants who are helped by government. And now they are paying 2,000, 1,000 per month from their little salary under this current government, where the kwacha has lost value. The monies they used to get, and they will deduct a 1,000 for loan scheme, it comes to nothing. And this economy is shrinking. A lot of people are being excluded from playing a role in this economy. So it is for this reason why, as UPND, we are going to invest heavily in the education. We are going to empower our people so that they can positively contribute into growing this country. Zambia shall no longer develop on debts. Zambia shall no longer need to tighten their belts to build a 10-kilometer road. Zambians are going to build their own countries. Places like Vubwi are going to be developed, because each and every young person with good results in Vubwi will have access to the university.
Thank you so much.
And other universities.
Thank you so much. And your 3 minutes is up. Education sector, UPPZ.
As UPPZ, comrade, who prioritize this education?
Saying the current leadership has not prioritized education?
They are partial.
Okay.
Look at a child in the rural area. Do they have access to the education like those in the urban areas? The answer is no. We will provide bursaries to those students who have made it, and especially those in the rural areas who have never been taken care of. We will make sure, because they are also human beings, we want to bring up engineers from those places. If you look at what is going on today, you will cry for those people in the rural areas. I know some people in the urban, they will be rejoicing. Me, I've gone to school. Yes, you have gone to school because somebody who didn't taken care of your friends in the rural areas have done so. That's why you can rejoice. But your brother in Shangombo, in those rural areas where there is no university, what about them? We will make sure those people are sponsored, empowered, taken to higher education under sponsorship. Not only that, we will protect the girl child in the rural area to make sure that they attain their education. That will decrease the early marriages. We will make sure that we protect them from the vices that are happening today, because the places where these learning environments are very far. You find a rural child girl walks 10 kilometers to where a school is, comes back another 10 kilometers, that makes it 20, and that on a daily basis. After which, of course, there are house chores and so on. How do you think that child will learn? All those things, as UPPZ we are saying, we will make sure we bring closer those schools in the rural areas. who will make sure that the rural child is educated, like the person in the urban. So education will prioritize it to its maximum and will unite everywhere. Will make sure facilities, teachers are provided. In most cases, you find, yes, they have built, but do you have teachers there? The answer is no. Recently, about 17 schools, community schools, were discovered in Kitwe. The children sit on the floor. I mean, right now, they sit on the floor, contemporary. That's a joke and it's a shame.
Or that will end under UPPZ.
Under UPPZ, right now, I'm not talking about tomorrow when we form government. Right now, the president, President Charles Chanda, has taken charge of those places. And he's making sure he's buying school desks for those kids.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, as we are winding down, I know time is not with us, we have to go. Mr. Mbao, the president did mention, President Edgar Lungu, His Excellency did mention that Zambia is being divided by politicians who are championing messages of tribalism, championing messages of regionalism. As we are heading towards 2021 August, issues to do with tribalism, regionalism, as well as politics of insults are very rife. Your message, what do you make of that?
It is actually a sad story. You can never point at an opposition or another party before you look at your own party. What is happening in the PF today? Are they not being tribalistic? They are. A lot is actually very plain in the way people are being treated because of the names they have. My brother mentioned of a name recently who messed up heavily. And what has been done to that person? Literally nothing. Yes, we can talk about firing, whatever is happening. Nothing. Tribalism is not in the opposition. After all, the worry shouldn't be on the opposition. The worry should be on the ruling, because as we don't have positions which are so influential that they can even disturb the development of this.
But the president said when campaigning, you're also name calling people.
Which name calling? Which name calling? Because each and every person who's moving today, even if they talk about campaigning, which platform have they provided for us to campaign? My own president was blocked in Eastern Province when he went there to campaign, just to beef up some support there. He was blocked to move in. We saw another opposition leader who was blocked to move in. Why? Because of the names. Now, if they talk about tribalism, it is full-time, 100%.
So we can't end tribalism.
We can end. As New Hope MMD, with vast experience. New Hope MMD had leaders from all walks of this nation. From all provinces, we had leaders. We had the Mwilas, we had the Mwanzas, we had the Piris, we had all these different names from, at one time we had even the transport minister who is actually from Southern Province, meaning we had it all balanced. And such kind of leadership is an experience that we are bringing in back after 2021 general elections. The able leadership of Dr. Nevas Mumba will make sure that no matter how your name sounds, his interest is what contribution do you have to the development of this nation. He's not looking at any today. Even if you walk to Democracy House, you find different names there. There are Tonga names there, there are Bemba names there, there are Ngoni names there, Tumbuka names. We are all amalgamated. There is nothing like we are working in isolation. That shows that in New Hope MMD, we are able to embrace everyone, regardless of their tribal belonging. Okay? Under this PF leadership, most of the things that they are talking about, it's them that are starting it. After they've really pushed someone, it's about the time they looked at what they're supposed to do today.
Thank you so much, and your 3 minutes up. Jimmy, issues to do with tribalism, name calling, and lack of message. The president is worried.
You know, if there's a party which is well organized and it is well positioned to hold Zambia together, it is the United Party for National Development. It does not look at tribe. Myself, I'm Mambwe and Bemba by tribe. Here am I from the United Party. What tribalism are they talking about? Look at, we are just coming from the National Management Committee elections, where the UPND has elected its top leaders to manage the party. And it is a composition of well-able women and men from across this nation. We have people from Eastern Province. We have people from Northern Province. We have people from Luapula. We have people from Northwestern. We have people from Southern Province. We have people from Western and everywhere. We have people from Lusaka. You see, there is no tribalism in UPND. If there's any tribalism, it is that which is preached by the PF, which does not exist anywhere except in the PF alone. And the tribalism which is in the PF or across the country, it is corruption. Let us talk of corruption, not tribalism. There's no tribalism here in Zambia. There is nothing. If there's any tribalism which I know, it is corruption practiced heavily by the PF. And they know so well. And Zambians in Eastern Province, kuvubu timakamba ati sitikudia mtundu. Sitikudia mutundu. Tribalism cannot feed us. What we want is leaders. President HH has just been talking of prudent economic management. Chasila, kwamana. Those are the things we want. Turefa intungurush ishinga wombera abantu notukula ukula patanya abantu. Ukula patanya momitundu. No, we don't want to accept that. Evil stiza cheaters, stiza vomera. As Zambians, we are united. Our forefathers, President Kaunda, they did the best. One Zambia, one nation. We don't just have to be singing that song. We have to live that song. Just yesterday, a few days ago, because UPND, after, during our process of electing our members, National Management Committee members from across the country, we sang our national anthem in the 7 languages of this country. And some foreigners from PF, or those who are hired by PF, they are saying, no, we sang our national anthem in a foreign language, a non-language. Because they are not Zambians. They don't know that we have 72 languages and we are free to use any. Personally, I can speak 7 languages, local ones. Ndambara Chitonga, Rwabulera Silozi, Ichiwe Mbandaranda, na Chinyanja Timakamba.
Ziko Mokambi, and your 3 minutes is up. UPPZ, tribalism, the president is very concerned and said it is us, the politicians, that are bringing in tribal and regional talks.
As UPPZ, we do not know this animal called tribalism. But we have heard, and we know, some political parties, they are championing tribalism. For this reason, this party, United, Prosperous, and Peaceful Zambia, was formed because we saw the danger Zambia was going into, where people were regionalizing and saying, no, this is our stronghold. What do you mean? This is Zambia. Some people, they even boast, this is a no-go area for A and B. As a result, we said our party will be united, prosperous, and peaceful Zambia. Why? Because we do not, in strong terms, entertain tribalism. For your own information, this party, UPPZ, our president, President Charles Chanda, from the day it was formed, he only went to his region this year. It was formed in 2016. To date, he only went where he is coming from this very year. He has been going around the country in some other regions, empowering other people, telling them that Zambia is one. That's the reason why we are saying this Zambia has been divided, whether by action, you have divided the country, whether by word, because you have spoken it. No, us we are so will not do this. You are a tribalist. And us as UPPZ, we are saying, we will make sure that once we form government, this thing of political regalia, it will only be used during campaigns, after which you put it and pack it. But today, we see people dividing the nation deliberately, even in simple funerals that should be attended by all well-meaning people. They say, no, this is our funeral. Tell me, who are you? Are you a Zambian? That's a Zambian. All we are saying is we want a Zambia back to its morals. People have lost morals because of politics. Politics has divided this country. And we are saying as UPPZ, no to that, abash to tribalism. And that tribalism is seen, whether you are saying it or in action. People can tell that you are a tribalist. And all we are saying as UPPZ will make sure Zambia with all the 72 tribes are united. United, prosperous, and peaceful Zambia. We will make sure in practice Zambia is one, not just in word.
Thank you so much. Let me thank you, gentlemen. We've come to the end of Blunt Talk. Time seems not to be with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Sakala, for making an appearance representing UPPZ. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you. You'll see me soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Edward Mbao from the New Hope MMD.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And,
Jimmy Chela, representing the UPND. Thank you so much, sir, for making an appearance.
Thank you so much for this wonderful platform.
Thank you so much. This is when you've just joined us. This has been Blunt Talk, and I've been talking to Jimmy Chela from the UPND, Edward Mbao, New Hope MMD, as well as Kondwelani Sakala, representing the UPPZ. Until next time, next week, same time, same place. This is when you've just joined us. Wasangana today. Good night.
The home of copper. This is Zambia, this the nation. Yeah. Give us, you give us. This is Zambia, the home of copper. This is Zambia.